Diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and today I have with me a diamond in the rough. His name is Westin Elliott. He's a quarterback out of Merrimack. Nice to meet you, buddy.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you. Thanks for having me on, Jimmy.
Yeah, nice to have you on. I really wanted to talk to you because it seemed like during the All-Star circuit, you were really getting a whole lot of buzz. What we're looking at really is this, quarterback with prototypical size. I mean, you get a guy who's about 6'4", 220 pounds. So I know a lot of teams might want to learn more about you for sure. So kind of catch us up to speed if you don't mind. Tell me maybe where you're from and how you got there to Merrimack.
Yeah, no, I'm from Lubbock, Texas. I grew up in a small town right outside of it, Shallowater, Texas. Went to Shallowater High School. Ended up transferring my senior year to Midland Christian High School down in Midland, just for a better opportunity for me to play football. And then from there, I didn't get the offers that I wanted. Wanted to go Division One. Had Division Two offers. Decided I was going to go to Blinn Junior College for 1 year. Ended up there for 1 year and had a couple offers. Tim Rattay was the guy who really, did it for me there at Louisiana Tech. He recruited me when I went on my visit there. He played at Louisiana Tech. He played 10 years in the NFL. He was just, exactly what I wanted, exactly what I was looking for in a QB coach. And along with Skip Holtz and that entire staff, they did a great job. I was just blessed to be there in that opportunity. The moment I was there, I was the second string guy. I bided my time, worked my tail off. Ended up getting COVID in 2020, missing the first 2.5 games and really missing my opportunity. So I ended up throwing my name in the transfer portal after sticking out that 2020 season there at Louisiana Tech. And Coach Luke Bakanowski, Dan Curran, there at Merrimack College, reached out and actually decided pretty late. I think it was in April, whenever I decided I was going to go to Merrimack. Showed up the beginning of June, went through summer, and that's how I ended up at Merrimack.
Crazy story there. Who knows what would have happened, man? Like if you hadn't have got COVID, goodness, because I want to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say like in the 2020 season, like weren't there like injuries at that quarterback position?
There was late in the season. There at the beginning, I was battling for the spot there in fall camp, and the Friday before week one, I tested positive for COVID, so I had to go into that 10-day protocol and missed the first 2 weeks. So definitely wasn't what I wanted. Definitely some adversity there, but that's kind of what I take pride in myself is standing up tall in the face of adversity.
It's crazy, man. Obviously the pandemic is real. It's something that we've had to deal with for a couple of years now. So definitely some interesting, development there for you as a player and just kind of your, crazy journey that you were talking about there. Going from Texas to JUCO there for a spell, and then to Louisiana Tech, and then finally to Merrimack. And I feel like it was really your time there at Merrimack where a lot of people are really getting their eyes opened as to perhaps what kind of player you could be at the next level. So I just kind of want to chat with you about that a little bit. How about you? Like when you were growing up or maybe even now, is there a player like in the league that you really looked up to, admired, or maybe wanted to be like when you grew up?
Yeah, I guess it's cliche to say, but Tom Brady. That was the guy I had, everywhere, my phone background, all that, just the way he plays. It fits my style of play. That's exactly who I am. I'm 6'4", 220. I was from the physical side, I'm not the fastest guy. I'm not going to be the most, I'm not the best physical specimen out there, but, winning football games with your brain, anticipation, timing, layering throws, the things he does phenomenally well. moving in the pocket. I feel like that's exactly what encompasses my game. So that's the guy that I always, had on a pedestal and a guy I looked up to.
So is that kind of what you feel separates you as a prospect? Is just kind of the mental aspect of the game?
Yeah, yeah, there's no doubt. I went through, I mentioned Tim Rattay. He was my QB coach initially at Louisiana Tech. I was with him for 2 years. He ended up going to be the QB coach for the Washington football team. I guess they're the Commanders now. And then Todd Fitch took over for a year, and he ended up being the OC at Vanderbilt. Now he's at Ohio State on their staff. And then after that, I had Joe Sloan as my third QB coach there at Louisiana Tech. And he just got hired as the QB coach at LSU. So I've had a string of phenomenal quarterback coaches, and then I go show up into North Andover, and Luke Bakanowski. He's 28 years old, up and coming. I mean, phenomenal brain. Just how he thinks about the game. Everything he wants. His idea of a quarterback. It just fit perfectly into my game. So I mean, with those four guys that I had, I feel like the mental side of the game was definitely expanded. And I have a really tight grasp on, a lot of football, whether that's defensive, offensive, that's where I am in my game.
Definitely some pros and cons, I suppose, to like having several different QB coaches. I mean, the head coaches and things of that matter. Because I mean, obviously, who knows what would have happened? Like if you would have just stuck with one guy throughout your
Right.
whole career, or and then again, like you said, I mean, the benefit of that really is like learning a lot of different systems that these guys throw your way. I mean, it's tough, man. It's tough to manage because verbiage is different. It's just kind of wild that you've been through all of that and still are just you just keep grinding through it. So
Right.
it's just kind of wild. So you had kind of mentioned like the style of quarterback you are, pocket quarterback sort of guy. So interesting that that's how you describe yourself. And then of course, I just kind of want to chat a little bit because I mean, after your time there at Merrimack, you really had some great offers in the All Star circuit. Going to the FCS Bowl, the Tropical Bowl, the Gridiron Showcase. I mean, there's so many people that really want to see more and more and more of you because
Mm-hmm.
again, like beforehand, I feel like maybe they just hadn't seen you yet. So
Right.
talk about those experiences a little bit there. So let's first camp out at like that first spot there, which was the FCS Bowl. So talk to me about that one.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was down in Daytona Beach, Florida. Got to get away from the cold there in December in the Northeast, so that was a nice change. But that coaching staff and there how they run that, that they do a great job allowing FCS guys, D2 guys, even some D3 guys, to just be in front of scouts to go compete. And everybody there is a very high level player. And that was just a great experience to kind of get that under my belt. Those all-star games, you're learning an offense, you're meeting new guys, you're trying to build a little bit of chemistry the first day, second day, trying to get as much as you can to go out there and put on a show and play and put your best foot forward in front of, these eyes of these scouts that are making big decisions for you and your future at the end of the day.
Yeah, so I mean, again, you have the FCS Bowl and the Tropical Bowl, which they kind of work hand in hand a little bit, whereas
Yeah.
one just sort of helps you pole vault to the next.
Hmm.
And so the Tropical Bowl, very similar location and everything. So uh, I believe I was actually able to sit down and watch that game a little bit because it is available on YouTube for people that are interested. So talk to me about your experience playing that.
Yeah, no, it was great. I actually went. It was the FCS Bowl and went to CGS for 5 days, and then hopped on a plane. And the next day was the start of the
Okay.
Tropical Bowl. So I mean, it was basically I think it was nine days, 10 days, right there in a row of just all star game between CGS and Tropical. But they both did a great job. Tropical Bowl had the whole game format, which was great. I met a lot of great guys there. Ended up getting to go in right before halftime. I think there was a minute and 2 seconds left on the clock, down on my own 20. And the score, I think we were down. I think it might have been 14-0. At that point, that was my first time to get in the game. It was just, they had the ball. The time just kind of clicked off or ticked off the clock. So I finally got to go in there and actually move the ball for the first time for our team. Got us all the way down there and field goal range through a back shoulder to a wide receiver from Michigan. And then we got to, tack on 3 points there going into halftime. It kind of started a little bit of momentum. So that was a great experience. Coach Littlejohn did a great job. He was the head coach. He's now 5-1 in that game. So he was pretty excited about that.
Nice. So yeah, like you had mentioned, I mean, you definitely built some relationships throughout the course of those All-Star games. I mean, like you hooking up with a Big Ten wide receiver that you've never had a chance to throw to. So definitely some cool things there. So another part of the whole All-Star scene is actually sitting down and having interviews with NFL scouts. How did that go for you overall? I mean, those interviews, like, were they throwing you any wild questions or anything like that you want to share about that experience?
Yeah, it wasn't too out of the box. Actually, at Merrimack, they do a great job of bringing in scouts. I mean, I can't think of a day that there wasn't at least one scout on the sideline at our practices throughout the year. So whenever I got to these All-Star games, I actually saw a couple scouts I had talked to at Merrimack. And then, I actually got to go more in depth with those guys because they already kind of had a background profile on me, kind of knew what to expect. So that was really good. A lot of guys I sat down with for 45 minutes to an hour, got real in-depth interviews, talked ball a little bit, all that. And that was just a great opportunity to show them a little bit who I am as well, so they can put a dog in a fight for me when it comes to draft day.
Interesting. You had chatted a little bit about them actually being there, at Merrimack, obviously watching you guys, a lot of great talent there. Who there on that team really impresses you the most?
Their home at Merrimack.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a I could name a ton of guys. Caleb Holden.
Give me at least a handful.
All right, yeah, Caleb Holden, DB, unbelievable talent. Darian McKenzie, obviously. Clay Legault, he's coming out. Sean Page, offensive guard, he's coming out. A great guy, great football players. And then Tyler Roberts, tight end, junior, phenomenal. Jakari Carter played slot. I think he was 3 catches away from passing Cooper Kupp's freshman record. He was a freshman All-American. And he came in and did a great job. He was actually started the year off as the second guy. And week 2 came in and still almost passed Cooper Kupp's records. They have a string of young talent coming through. There's a running back, Vic Dawson. He'll be a name to remember coming into the future. No doubt about that. And Rodney Sampson on the defensive side playing Mike linebacker, head clashing every down. So, those guys are all phenomenal. And, I couldn't have been more blessed to be teammates with those guys. And, just all the hard work they put into it. And I can't wait to get back to Merrimack for Pro Day and kind of reconnect with them and get to talk about how things are going and what they're expecting here coming up next fall.
No doubt. I mean, definitely a lot of decent names there that you had, shared. I mean, very good quality defensive backs, and then some, just overall, like, a lot of good talent there for sure. So, definitely some good things there happening for Merrimack. I do want to just kind of chat with you. I mean, I know you didn't really have perhaps as much time as a starter throughout your career, but is there perhaps maybe one instance of your career that really sticks out? I mean, maybe a highlight or a game that you want to share?
Yeah, no, the Holy Cross game, that was week 2 of my time at Merrimack. That's the one that always kind of sticks out in my head. That was my first time, I guess, to start versus, a ranked FCS opponent there, Holy Cross. They do a great job there. They're a very, very good football team. They have, defensive end, a linebacker. They're all NFL talent and have an opportunity to play. That was my second week as a starter. And I was so excited to, go down there and play them on their home turf. And, I ended up throwing, I think I had 230 yards in the first half. And then we only threw the ball 4 times in the second half because we just needed to hand it off to finish it out. We ended up beating them, I think, by 14. They think they scored a touchdown with like 10 seconds left there in the game. Kind of got a fluke went on us, but that threw a touchdown to Jakari Carter in the back of the end zone with I think 7 seconds left in the first half. And that throw and just that moment, always sticks in my head. Always reminds me, how tight knit we were as a group. Just seeing everybody go wild on the sideline, in the end zone, and just the love we all had for the game.
Yeah, I mean, definitely wild there, and like you had mentioned, I mean, I know it's against Holy Cross. Maybe not a lot of people understand like how good a Holy Cross really is, and your
Yeah,
guys' ability to get one over on those guys. I mean, you always got to be proud about that because I mean they seem to like always dominate for sure. So
hmm
uh, kudos to you for actually getting that win. So
for sure.
love that one. So. The interesting thing about a quarterback is you get this whole idea that perhaps I don't know. You see a guy who might you don't know whether or not you want to follow this guy. You have this whole idea of like leadership that kind of goes hand in hand with the position. But sometimes I feel like it's a you really need that tough guy that you want to really follow to the ends of the earth. So just to kind of give people a little bit of insight as to what kind of a player and man that you are. Describe a time in your life when you were able to overcome a struggle.
Yeah, for sure. The one that instantly pops to my brain is, after the main game, that was week 3. I had a tiny cut on the back of my knuckle, and had taken a face mask to the back of my hand, which is a trauma point, and I ended up getting an infection in the back of my hand. You kind of see it here, the scar. Ended up going into the hospital. Didn't really know what it was. Thought maybe I broke my hand. Um, went to the hospital Sunday night, just because it was double the size. The pictures are crazy of my left hand, and this is on my throwing hand. So I was kind of down in the dumps. Was thinking for sure I'm going to miss a week. Ended up having surgery on Tuesday to get that cut out. I think it was a tennis ball size pocket they cut out of there. So it was crazy. They put 8 stitches in the back of my hand. Ended up staying in the hospital from Sunday night at about 8 o'clock till Thursday at 3 o'clock. Practice started at 3:30 on Thursday. I got out of my hospital bed basically the first time I'd stood up, done too much besides go to the bathroom. Went straight to practice. Threw on the pads, threw on a pad on the back of my hand, threw on 2 gloves. Practiced Thursday, got on the bus Friday, went down to Del State, and hadn't practiced much that week. Actually had got the FCS Player of the Week that week. I think I threw for 345 yards, 92%, 6 touchdowns. So
With a crazy messed up hand. And
yeah, with
so
8 stitches.
jeez, dude. So a lot of people, okay, again, I just want to reiterate this. I mean, you get one tough SOB who just, for whatever reason, like, it has just been, I don't know, sometimes people just kind of get unlucky streaks, man. So, I mean, when it comes to maybe like, you getting COVID before or this one infection in your hand that, you just had to kind of get it all cut out and stuff. I mean, good God, man. I'm like, I can't imagine what kind of toughness it takes to really, get stitched up, go out there and still get, player of the week and all that. I mean, that to me is just phenomenal. I mean, it really is that kind of character that really helps, you know, people understand who they could follow as a leader. So
Mhm.
definitely appreciate about that about you. Anything else about you that you want to share? Anything that's not football related? I mean, other than being tough enough to, withstand that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess kind of an interesting fact is I love to golf. Big golfer. I was on the high school golf team. There at Louisiana Tech, I had a group of friends, and we would make it out to a golf course right around there. Try to make it out once or twice a week in the off season. And up here, since it's constantly snowing in New Jersey, where I'm training right now, me and a couple of the quarterbacks training here. We found a golf simulator right down the road. So we've been taking the clubs down to the golf simulator in the evenings and on Sundays on our day off, and playing Pebble Beach and whatnot on the simulator. So yeah, I mean that's something that is I hold close to my heart. It's what me and my dad kind of bonded over when I was young in my life, and golf was our thing, and I'm thankful he taught me well. So definitely love to get out on the links a little bit and swing the clubs.
Crazy. Well, I mean, obviously something that's fun to do. So yeah, a little bit of golf. Hopefully, you'll be doing that kind of in the off season. So
Yeah.
again, like you had said, I mean, a guy, from Texas, and currently, I want to say you said you're training in New Jersey, right? I mean, where are you right now
Yes,
training
sir.
for the pro day?
Yep, I'm in New Jersey, training with Test Football. Tony Rassiopi is my QB coach. He invited me. I was one of 5 guys he invited to come train with him. It's me here right now. The quarterbacks training with him are me, Kenny Pickett, Dustin Crum, Mike Beaudry, and Anthony Russo. So we get to have the friendly competition every day and work our tails off. And Test Football does a phenomenal job. Kevin Dunn is the leader here. Garrigan Munderson, great guy. They're the leaders here, and they've definitely put me on the right track. I'm here gaining weight and losing fat. Getting training. All these tiny details are going to go into it. Just can't wait for pro day and to see all their hard work and mine, I guess, pay off.
Gotcha. And what are you expecting for that pro day? Like, do you have any idea where you are with some of those things that they put you through? Like some of those drills? Do you have any idea? Um, like with your 40, your vert, your 3 cone,
Uh,
and all those other things. You have any idea where you're at with them?
I have a little bit of an idea. I might hold it a little tight here.
That's
I might
fine.
hold it close to the sleeve here and kind of see what happens on pro day. I'm excited. I've actually shocked myself with some time, so
That's
hopefully
good. That's good to
when I get
know.
out there on March 24th, I do the same with the scouts. So show a little athletic ability. So
Awesome. So, as we begin to wrap up everything, I mean, obviously, like you said, I mean, you really want to impress some scouts. So, I do want you to have one last moment to actually talk to those scouts. So, go ahead, look into the camera and talk to those scouts and tell those scouts what kind of player they'd be getting if they took a chance on you. Go ahead and hit them with your pitch.
yeah, no, I'm the player you're gonna get. Whenever I come into your building, it's going to be all I do. I'm going to have, a competitive edge. Competitive excellence is kind of my mantra, whether that's in the film room, whether that's on the field, whether it's on Sundays or, even recovery with the training staff. I'm going to be the most competitive guy in the building. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure I'm successful on Sundays when it counts. And you're gonna get a great leader and a great teammate. I pride myself on being a great leader, and that starts with knowing your teammates and leading by example, and having relationships with guys. And so I think those are 2 things they're going to get, and they're going to get a guy that's going to face adversity full steam ahead. That I think all 3 of those kind of compound me into who I am. I think it's really great to say you're going to get a great football player, but I think there's a lot more that goes into being a great football player than just going and throwing it 60 yards. But you're going to get a guy who faces adversity and is proven to stand tall in the face of adversity. I think that's something I've proven, and you're going to get a guy full of confidence. Can't wait to go and prove to all those people around him and prove to myself. I'm the guy that you can put on the field on Sundays. And have faith in me to win your team games.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a guy that is completely flying under the radar that really needs a whole lot more, people, with their eyes on him because, like, I know you have a lot going for you. I mean, you have a guy with prototypical quarterback size. I mean, that kind of Tom Brady-esque figure and that sort of thing. So, I mean, obviously, that's what a lot of people think of when they think of a quarterback. And then, again, like we've kind of talked about you and like all these things that you've had to deal with, man, like, and still amongst that adversity, coming out not just on top, but really shining in, despite adversity, despite being put in those circumstances. So, I do feel like people really need to know who you are and give you that opportunity at the next level. And I wish you best of luck, bud.
Well, I appreciate that, and thank you so much for having me. I can't wait for that opportunity at the next level. I'm gonna take the most advantage. I'm gonna take full advantage of that when I get that opportunity, and that's my goal. Be tired at the end of every day. Work tirelessly until you're where you want to be. So.
Gotcha. Thanks again. Again, I have with me Westin Elliott. He's a quarterback at a Merrimack. Definitely check him out.